When I was told I'd need a tracheostomy, my world stopped for a moment. I thought about everything I'd lose: my voice, my independence, my sense of normalcy. But what I didn't know then was how much I'd gain: strength, resilience, and the ability to inspire others to keep fighting. Living with a trach wasn't just a physical challenge. It was emotional. It was mental. There were days I didn't think I'd make it. Days where my body was weak and my spirit was weaker. But there were also days when I defied the odds, when I pushed through every obstacle because I refused to let my disability define me. This is my story. It's a journey of pain and struggle, but also one triumph and transformation. I want to share it with you, not just to tell you what I went through, but to remind you of what's possible. No matter the challenge, no matter the disability, there's always a way forward.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Hi, I'm Courtney. I'm 26 years old, and I have a tracheostomy resulting from tracheostenosis. When I first got diagnosed with tracheostenosis, I was very confused. The previous month in June, I had been intubated for pneumonia because my oxygen levels weren't where they were supposed to be. While I was intubated, my trachea got damaged. So that caused a narrowing of my airway, and that's what they called tracheostenosis. I woke up that morning, couldn't breathe. I was panicking. No matter what I tried, I felt like I was suffocating. And I was also making this very high-pitched squeaking sound when I breathed. I was very concerned. I ended up calling my ENT doctor. Had been doing my surgeries, my dilations for the past several months, and he told me to take a hot shower, see if I could clear some mucus. So I had tried that, but it was just getting worse and worse and worse. I couldn't breathe. Finally, I went to the ER, and the first ER I went to, I walked in there, and at first they acted like they were gonna help me, and they said that they were gonna transfer me to another hospital, because I guess they couldn't do what they needed to at that hospital, because it was kind of a smaller hospital. Then they said that I didn't need to be admitted, that I was fine, that my oxygen levels were fine, that my vitals looked fine, that I was fine. And so they told me that they were discharging me. I told them that I wasn't fine, that I didn't feel fine, that I wanted to be admitted, and they said no, they're discharging me. When I refused to leave, they told me that if I didn't leave, that they were going to have security escort me out. So despite still struggling to breathe, I walked out of the hospital, and they didn't even give me a ride home. So I got on the bus, and I ended up riding 45 minutes downtown in like a not very good condition. I was just breathing so hard, I felt like I was gonna pass out. And I got to the hospital downtown, and the first stop that the bus stop had stopped at was at the pediatric entrance. And I wasn't a pediatric, but I needed help. So I got off the bus there, and I walked in to the pediatric hospital, and I said, I need help. And at this point, like, I could barely get those words out, and I was struggling a lot. And so they called a rapid response, and the rapid response team came down. They realized that my oxygen levels had dropped down into the 70s, and that wasn't good at all. And so they rushed me to the ER. They got me on all kinds of oxygen, and the ENT doctor there at that hospital came down and looked at me. He immediately said, like, just based on like my presentation and how my oxygen levels were, and also by what they called stridor, which is that high-pitched noise I was making when I breathed, he said he needed to take me in for another dilation. Every surgery I had ever had on my trachea, all the dilations, all the steroid injections, everything, they had always told me that there was a possibility I could come out with a trach. It never did happen. That threat became kind of less intimidating to me, because it didn't seem like that would be something that could ever happen to me. I said, I'm young, that won't happen to me. That hasn't happened yet, that won't happen to me. But what I realized soon later is that can happen to anybody. Because it happened to me at 26 years old, and I was otherwise healthy. I went into surgery that night, emergency surgery that night, and when I came out of surgery, I couldn't speak, and I didn't know why, and I reached up and I touched my neck, and I had a tracheostomy. That night was the start of a long journey that I would have with my trach. It's been about 2 years or so, and I've learned a lot, and it's been scary and hard at times, but I have made it through, and I've overcome so many obstacles.